Hey everybody, welcome to Board Game Heaven. We're here at Spiel Essen 2018 with Luca from Board to Death Games.
Yes.
And you're here with a prototype of your third game already called Towers.
Yep. It's basically a Towers game.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Tower Wars in the land of Ta, I understand.
Yeah, and all the races are at war with each other, trying to gather as much of the crystals that landed from an asteroid. And these crystals help these towers levitate. It's a new source of energy, so everybody's fighting for these crystals. And it's this is an actual player pawn, and it's a dice tower as well.
Yeah, it looks really impressive.
Yeah, it's very original. Like,
yeah,
as a mechanic, you'll see.
And it's a party game.
It's a dexterity. It has that party feeling, like, you know, when you miss someone, you're like, you're just screaming, and towards the end of the game, everybody's standing around the table instead of sitting. It's one of those games, and it's very quick, it's short, but it has a party feel with a lot of strategy and take that elements.
Yeah, okay, so let's quickly take a look at how it plays.
So I'll start with the player boards. These are the player boards, and there's going to be 6 different armies. And as you can see, these are the crystals that are being used to levitate the castles, and they're basically what everybody's fighting for. So the player board, your goal is to get to 3 victory points. If you want to do an epic game, you could go up to 5 victory points.
Okay.
And these are your population. So a set of dice for each player. So the game will come with 6 sets of dice, and they represent each race individually.
They will all be in different colors.
Yeah. So these are the merfolk. They live in water, kind of like a bubble city, and they're going to be the blue player. You start with 3 fish, 3 stones, 3 wood, and 3 of the special crystals. And you have 8 shields, plus 1 attack, and 5 HP. This is a prototype, so we've been playtesting it. Usually we started with 5 of each resource to get a victory point, but we changed it to 3. So now if you spend 3 of each resource, you get a victory point.
All right, okay.
Yeah. So that's how the player board works. And this is the summary cards of the actions you're going to be doing on your turn. So we could go through these very quickly. Trade and quests are these cards here. And basically, if you have dice in, let's say, the water, the river, you could trade in a crystal for 3 stones. So you could do trades depending on where your dice is. So if you're in the forest, you could trade 1 of each to put this card in your hand to give you a shield on your tower. If you're in the city, you'll be able to trade in 5 pieces of wood for a victory point. These are really fun because if I see another player going for this, I might want to knock his dice out of the city so that he can complete it. And then you have some monsters that you could go attack. So he's in the water. If you attack him for 10, you'll gain 4 fish.
Okay.
So these are trading and questing.
Will those cards be the same for everyone, or will there be a random?
Yeah, no. So they're laid out on the side of the board.
Okay.
And then we have gather and stay. I'll show you how that works on the board. Then you go to buy and upgrade. This is where you buy your population. So if you want to buy this die here, you need 4 crystals. So you spend 4 crystals and you add this to your population. So now you have these guys that are basically what you're going to be throwing during the deploy armies phase.
All right, okay.
You could upgrade your attack, and you could upgrade your defense by spending 1 of each. And if you spend 1 of each, you also get the D20, which is only used to attack.
Okay.
So if you spend 1 of each, you get that, and you could use these dice.
Yeah, and that's how you build your army.
Yep. Move and rotate is also going to be on the board. I'm going to show you that on the board.
Yep.
And then deploy armies is also on the board, so I'll show you that. But now you have a gist of what your player board looks like, so we could go on the board and show you the board.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so here we have the board all set up with these prototype dice towers.
Yeah, so these are the ones we use to play test the mechanics of the game, and eventually these are going to be like this for each player, and each player is going to have a special die. I'll just put it here so you can see it. This is based on this image here, and each castle is going to have their own tower.
Yeah, so there's going to be 6 different sculpted dice towers in the game.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah, it's gonna be really nice. So how it works is, I'll go back to the summary. So the trade and quest is basically the cards that were here that I showed you earlier, and then you have the gather and stay. So for each die that is still on the board after you've cast them, you have to decide if you want to stay or gather. So for example, if he's in the foresty area, you could gather him for 6 wood. If not, if you rolled a 2 on the wood and it's not going to be very productive to get 2 woods, you could tell him to stay there and then increase the number. So he's cutting more wood.
Yeah, exactly.
If he's fishing and you rolled a d12 but you're only getting 2 fish, you're going to tell him stay there and try to get me more fish. So you go to 3.
3, yeah.
And you're going to get more fish next round. It's a bit risky to do this because the other people might throw their dice and hit you out of the water and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I'll show you how all that works. So that's how gather and stay works. You do that for each die that you have on the board.
Okay.
The buy and upgrade is what I explained before. So you spend your resources to upgrade your castle and buy your dice, which goes there. Then you have the move and rotate. How that works is, if you want to, I'll replace with the actual prototype. If you want to move your castle, there's going to be a moving stick, and as long as you're touching the castle and the stick, you could move
Anywhere around.
wherever you want on the stick. Exactly, yeah. Once you become veteran players, if you want to move an inch, you could just move an inch. Nobody is going to complain about that because they know it's obviously... if you don't want to move and you want to rotate, for example, you want to attack this guy, you could just rotate your castle, but you're not allowed to move.
Yeah.
So you could choose one or the other. Once you've done that, you deploy your dice. You have to decide which of these are farmers and which of these are soldiers who are attacking.
Okay.
So if I want to attack this player, I could say my D10 and my D8 are attackers. Yeah, so I'm going to attack. I even hit his dice, which is fun. I hit my own die.
Yeah, now they're both at 1.
Yeah, it was a 10 and now it's a 1. But if it was still a 10 or a 9, you add the numbers. As long as they hit this tower, it's 10, plus your attack is 13. He's going to check his defense. If his defense is 11, for example, he would lose a HP.
Okay.
And the attacker gains a victory point.
Okay.
But since they were attackers, you lose them.
All right.
They attack. Now, if I want to push my luck, I could say, I'm going to attack again.
Okay, so you can still decide afterwards.
Yeah, and use these two. If not, you know what? I'm running out of resources. There's some good wood over here. So now I got
one in the river.
One in the river.
One in the
yeah.
forest.
So, and it's a 1, so he might stay there and then forage more forest after that. Once I've deployed, the other player takes his turn. The dice always stay on the board until they are taken, gathered, or if they're being knocked out by other dice off the board. If they get knocked off the board, you only get 1 resource.
Okay, that's very clear, and it looks like a lot of fun to do.
It is crazy. If you could do trick shots, so if you have like 2 castles next to each other, and you throw this as an attacker,
you could bounce off and hit them both.
Yeah, if you hit both castles,
cool.
You check your attack on both their defenses, and that's a way of getting 2 victory points. So when you move, you have to also strategically place yourself in a way not to give victory points, easy victory points to other players. If you get too close to another castle, I'm going to get really close to him and attack him, you better be ready for retaliation next turn.
Exactly.
Because you're in his range now.
Yeah.
What's fun is if you want to push your luck, the better the resources, the better the dice will also roll. So if you want to attack from far, you could attempt it.
Yeah.
I hit those 2 castles. By luck, I was only going for him. So you add your attack, and maybe you get 2 victory points if they didn't upgrade their defenses. So that's the game, and you keep playing until someone gets 3 victory points, which is very quick. Or you could do an epic game of up to 5 victory points. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds amazing.
And when it's really fun, every time I've showed it to someone, they're like, let's sit down and have a game, you know,
Yeah.
because it's quick and it's fun. And there's a lot of like for example, if he's in the city and he has a 9, there might be a quest. For example, this quest, if you're in the city and you spend 5 woods to gain a victory point, he might want to like, you know, try to push your die out of the city.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it has that dexterity party feel, so don't take it too seriously, but the serious gamers do have a lot of choice and strategy.
Yeah.
That on their turn, they're going to be, you know, trying to decide what to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm really loving the way this looks, and even though this is still a prototype,
Yes.
the art looks amazing, and I like
Thank
the
you.
fact that we have all those cool colored dice, and really, I mean, who
Yeah.
doesn't want to play with dice towers like this?
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
And behind the character boards, I'm going to just clean this out, we're going to have the character here and the description of the race. So we have only the full colored, yes.
Yeah.
These are the humans. These are the kind of like the mutated ones. They're using the crystals to as
improve themselves.
cybernetic,
Yeah.
or like they mutate themselves. And these are some of the sketches, the merfolk, and it's amazing. It's done by a 15-year-old.
What's her name?
She's my cousin, Samia.
Okay, that looks beautiful.
Yeah, and she actually invented this. We're trying to figure out a name for her.
Okay.
So if anybody's watching, they have an idea for maybe a Valkyrie / bird.
Yeah.
We're just looking for a name for this race at the moment.
Well, let us know.
Yeah, for sure, and we might use it in the game.
Okay, so Luca, thank you very much for your preview.
Thank you for having me.
No
Thank you.
problem. And the game will be on Kickstarter. When exactly?
Yeah. We're trying something new. Instead of a date, we're waiting for 2,000 likes on our Towers Facebook page, and once we hit 2,000 likes, we launch the campaign.
Okay, cool. So I will put that link in the description below this video, and as soon as the Kickstarter goes live, I'll put that link on there as well.
Thank
So
you
I wish
very
you the
much.
best of luck with that.
Thank you. Enjoy Spiel.
Yeah, you too. And
Yeah.
we'll see you next time.
Awesome. Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button below, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching, and see you next time on Board Game Heaven.